Hello, my beautiful planty people, and how are you doing today? I hope you're great. I am doing wonderfully. Today, it's been a while. So it's been a while since I've done an Amazon favorites video. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit obsessed with Amazon. I just find it so convenient, especially in the times that we're in right now. It's not easy to just go out and grab things places. It's really just an all-in-one, one-stop shop. And for plant people, there are so many things on there that are just make our plant parent lives so much easier. So I wanted to share some of my favorites with you. Now, I have done a video like this before. I tried not to repeat a whole lot. There is a bunch of new stuff on here that I do use that I really love, that I'll share with you. I think there might be 2 items on here that I've shown you in the past, but there are a lot more new faces here lately. So if you've seen these, I do apologize. But I think for the most part, a lot of this stuff will be new to you. Or maybe not new to you, but new to me explaining it to you. Anyways, for those of you who are new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Nicki. This is my channel, Plants, Pots, and Whatnot. And for my lovely GFPs, my gluttons for punishment, who keep coming back for more, thank you so much. I love you to bits. And it is amazing to see you as always. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my top 15 favorite Amazon plant parent life altering. Let's just roll it. The first product is something that is not going to be a surprise to you at all. It has been on an Amazon favorites list previous to today because they are something that I have a lot of that I swear by. I love them. And that is, and these are dirty, so don't judge me. I just took plants out of them and I have to wash them so I can reuse them. But that is my little self-watering hanging pots. They're amazing. So they come in 3 sizes. So this is the medium, this is the large, and then they also come in a smaller size for some smaller cutesier plants. But they're really great. So this insert comes right out. They make it super easy. Right. They're very easy to clean, take apart. You have your pot here that has lots of aeration. There's holes around the outside, and then there are the round holes in the bottom. These things are great. I have them all over my house. I just have, you guys saw me do the little green wall last week. I have those there. I have them on about 3 different walls. I think 3 different walls, maybe 4 in my house. Love them, swear by them. They're super modern looking, very nice. They're very sleek, and if you have a lighter colored wall, they almost just like blend in. So what pops on the wall is the plant instead of the pot, which I think is great. So that is the first thing. So these cute little self-watering wall planters. Oh, I will also say I will have all of this stuff linked down in the description of my video. So normally I just reference you to my Amazon storefront, and yes, all of this stuff is in there. But what I'll do to make these particular products a little bit more easily accessible, and I will put them right in the main part of the description. You know, like pots, here's the link, and so on and so forth, just to make it easier for you to get to. Okay. So the next thing that I love, so you may or may not know, I have been really revamping a lot of areas in my home, redecorating. I just completed a full kitchen update, renovation sort of situation, and I've really been trying to streamline the look of my house. So in order to do that, I had to like get rid of a lot of packaging. You know, the store-bought packaging just tends to look a little messy, and there's so many other really cool ways that you can have your products that you use every day sitting out but not have them look cluttery and messy. And this is one way that you can do that. So these amber bottles are amazing. Now I use these for plant products. I also use them for my dish soap, my hand soap, my lotions, all that kind of stuff. They're really pretty. They go with pretty much any decor. So this one here I have is my pest spray. And then this one is my fertilizer. And then I just take it with my water, give a couple pumps into there, shake it up, and I'm on my way. And they come with the pump tops as well as the sprays, and they're interchangeable. So this particular set comes with the 2 large ones and then 4 smaller size. So these are 8 ounce, and then they come with 4 of the 6 ounce. So they're really, really handy, really cute. And I mean, they're sturdy. These are glass. They're not cheap plastic. And I love these. I'm obsessed with them. And I just think they look so much nicer on your counter or even out on display sitting with your plants. I think these would look really, really cute. Anyway, yeah, so that is product number 2, these amber glass bottles. Okay, product number 3 is something that we all use, but it's not, I mean, I don't know where you get yours from. But I seem to have a hard time getting my hands on any, and again, especially right now, it's hard to go out and get anything. So I order my Perlite off Amazon. Now there's this one company, and I buy a few things from this company on Amazon. It's called Holland Basics, and their Perlite is amazing. So it's coarse Perlite, so it's fairly chunky. You can see there. So there's a lot of large pieces and smaller sizes, and it's really, really great. I love it. I've bought this now. I think I've repurchased these 4 times. As you can imagine, I go through a lot of potting media and amendments and so forth. And this is great, and it comes in a 20-liter bag. So the reason that this is in the Ziploc bag this time is it's always arrived to me in great condition, the packaging and everything. But for some reason, when it shipped this time, the bag on the inside of the box had split open a little bit. And so about a third of my Perlite was actually in the box and not in the bag. So I just kind of like decanted it into these Ziploc bags, and I mean, that worked perfectly. And it's actually much easier to store in smaller bags instead of like a 20-liter bag. So if you're looking for Perlite, Amazon is great. Holland Basics, of course, Perlite. Okay, the next thing I want to mention to you is something that I always buy a lot of, and I use it in everyday life. I use it for crafting, and I use it a lot for plants, and that is this. So this is jute twine, if you didn't catch that. So this stuff is actually quite thin. So this is the smaller. I still have some, so I haven't opened this, but I'll open it for you because I don't know where my other ones are. So this is the smaller gauge twine. So this is great for tying up plants on trellises or moss poles. You can also use this for making moss poles. So you put the moss down and then you wrap the twine around. And because of the color of it, it kind of like fades right into the moss, so you don't really see it. It doesn't stand out. And usually I use the thicker gauge for my moss poles. And I find it much easier and yeah, just easier to use than like if you want to use like a fishing line or something. A fishing line is very, very thin. And so unless you wrap like very close together in your wrappings. What am I talking about? You know what I mean, right? Anyway, it doesn't hold all of that in there. So I've been using this literally for years, and it's fantastic. Another great thing that you can use this for is if you like to macrame, you can use jute twine for macrame. You can have little small, macrame projects, or you can buy the larger gauge jute and use it for, bigger macrame projects. Anyway, you don't have to use actual macrame cording. And this stuff, I will tell you, is way cheaper than macrame. Just depends on the aesthetic you're looking for. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the next product that I love that I want to tell you about is my Barina grow lights. So these are the lights that I have in both of my IKEA Millsbo cabinets. I also have these on all of my IKEA shelves, and these things are great. I am not a fan of the Blurple grow lights, nor do I really like those lower spectrum, like yellowy sort of lights. I like something to be nice and clean and bright, and I love the color of these lights. They kind of cast like a soft, almost like a pink, but like a very light pink, not the like blurple pink. But you can see here that they just look really nice, and my plants really, really like these. They also come with the little shields on the side so that if you have these on your shelving, you don't need to be like blinded when you're looking towards your shelf because there's that little guard there. It also helps to direct the light downwards instead of letting the light escape to the sides, which I think is amazing. So these come in 2 foot and 4 foot. And these are the 2 foot ones that I have here. I don't really have any need for the larger, longer ones. The 4 foots are just a little bit too long for my purposes on the shelves. So I kind of had to double up with the 2 foot ones. Anyways, love these lights, highly recommend. Again, it depends on kind of what your aesthetic is and what you need the lights for, but I do highly recommend these lights because I think you'll really like them. Okay, let's move on to the next product. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you, I'm always excited to tell people about because it's something that has made my plant life so much easier. And it's not something that, it's not an actual plant product. So this is actually a product that you'd use in the kitchen to dry your dishes. And that is this guy. Help! I'm in jail. Couldn't help myself. Anyway, on a serious note, this is a little silicone drain mat. It rolls up. This is great, right? It rolls up super small, so you can tuck it underneath your sink. So I just have mine tucked underneath my sink, and then when I need to water my plants, I roll it out and I set it over my sink and it fits perfectly. And then I can set the plants on top of it, water, and watch the water drain all the way through. So this is so much easier than setting my plants in the sink, watering them. I'm never really sure when all the water is drained out. Plus they're sitting on the bottom, so the bottom of the pot's getting all wet. This is so much easier. And you can fit more on there because you're not trying to cram a bunch of pots into a sink. Now, if you're a water in place kind of person, then I guess this won't be a big help to you. But if I can give you a piece of advice, if you can, if you're not a water at the sink kind of person, if you can try to at least once a month for most of your plants to take them to the sink and flush them all the way through, it's going to be a huge help for your plants. Plants really need to be watered so that the water comes out the drainage hole and really just flushes all the way through. If you've seen any of my plant chore or water with me videos, you'll see how I do it. And it's just better overall for the plant. Anyway, so I won't do preachy about plants, but you do what you want. But if you are a sink waterer, this is invaluable. Go get one. I promise you, you won't hate it. Let's move on to the next product. Okay, this next one, if you have a greenhouse, a grow tent, you could even do this in a Millsbo cabinet if you really wanted to. I think that might be kind of cool, actually. These are amazing. So I started using these downstairs in my Mars Hydro grow tent for rooting a bunch of my pink princess philodendrons, and it is working amazingly. So these are just like over the door like shoe storage or whatever storage little holders. It's plastic, it's easy to clean, and I love them. So this has worked so great in my greenhouse. It just takes advantage of that vertical space, and it has made it so that I can put more things into my grow tent, and the plants have done really well. So if you didn't see that video, I'll link it up here or up here. I'll link it up there somewhere, wherever. Anyway, I'll link that video up there if you didn't see it, but basically I took 2 of these, put them on a wall in my grow tent, stuffed moss in there, and then put all of my pink princess propagations in there. And because there was so many of them, I think I had 22 pink princess cuttings that were rooting. And they, as you can imagine, that took up a lot of space in the tent. So by putting them up on the wall, I got so much more space for other things, and they are doing really, really well. They're looking great. They're able to get the proper light where they are. And I don't know, I think this was, it was great. They work out great. So if you have a situation like that, I highly recommend using those. I just popped a couple holes in the bottom of each pocket so that it allowed the excess water to drain out, and it works like a charm. Highly recommend. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the next item that I want to share with you is these Sansy bulbs. Now, I'm sure that you've heard the Sansy name thrown around when it comes to grow lights, and there's a reason. They are amazing grow lights. Their spectrum is amazing. Their brightness is amazing. Their design is great. They are a nice, sturdy, hardy grow light that was designed to be a grow light. So I have these in my front window clipped to my 2 tall IKEA shelves, and they kind of shine down on the larger plants in the middle. So in there I have my glorious, my big glorious, I have my variegated bird of paradise, and I have my massive Syngonium chia pens, and they are all loving that light. And so these are an absolutely great light. So there's multiple styles of Sansy bulbs. So you can go on and check out which one would work best for you. They do come in different brightness levels. I think the ones that I have are 5K, and I really like that color spectrum. So anything from 5 to 65K, anything from 5,000 to 6,500, you know what I mean? 5,000 to 6,500. That always sounds weird. Anyways, is kind of the spectrum that I personally like in my home. And these Sansy bulbs are amazing. They do wonderful things for plants. Highly recommend. Go get yourself some Sansy bulbs if you're looking for a great grow bulb. Okay, I don't know about you, but I have an awful time trying to find a consistent source of a consistent supply or somewhere that I can consistently buy bark for my soil amendments. Now, also, if you find like orchid bark or, you know, things that are designed specifically for plants, inevitably you are going to pay more by quite a margin than if you were to buy the same product but it was marketed for some other niche like reptiles. So I have been purchasing reptile bark, so it's used for like bedding and all that kind of thing, and it is way cheaper to buy it that way rather than for if you're buying like orchid mix or orchid bark. It's ridiculous. So I've been using this stuff that I found on Amazon. So I would recommend this for like a smaller, like medium to smaller plants. The chunks are a little bit smaller, but you don't want super large chunks in smaller plants anyways. So this size worked perfectly, and I just toss it in my soil, mix it in for some of my the small to medium sized plants, and this stuff is great, and it's way cheaper than orchid bark, which is crazy. Anyway, this stuff's great. Love the size. Cheaper. Highly recommend. Okay, the next thing I want to recommend to you is these clear orchid pots. So these come in 4, 5, and 6 inch. They have amazing aeration. They have holes all around the sides, on the bottom. They're lovely. I bought these ones specifically. I got the small size to use in my Millsbow cabinet. So I use these and I poke an S hook through the hole on one side, and then I just hook the S hook right into the foam background, and these things work perfectly. You can't see the pot and it just kind of has a seamless look. But I mean, you could use these for propagations. I have actually used those for propagations with moss and perlite or soil or whatever you want to do. Anyway, there are orchid pots. They're really sturdy, actually. That's one thing I do want to mention. They're not like a flimsy plastic. They are a hard, sturdy plastic. So these are going to last you a long time, not like a lot of those other smaller, cheaper orchid pots. These are a really great option if you like clear orchid pots. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, most soils are made from peat moss. Peat moss is one of the most unsustainable products that you can use for your plants. Peat takes a really long time to grow, and these bogs are just being decimated, and it's not a good situation for anybody. So I actually stay away from, I don't buy peat, like just regular peat moss, and all of my soils are very heavily amended. So the soils that I do get last me a very, very long time. However, if you want to go with something other than peat, if you're somebody who buys peat moss, or if you want to make an entirely pre-made soil less mix, you can buy this stuff. This is a cocoa coir like substrate. It looks, I mean, to the naked eye, you would think it's peat, but it's actually not. It's cocoa coir, which is a much more sustainable product. And so as much as possible, I think I'm going to actually start moving over towards using this. This one I started using for my backgrounds in my Millsbow and in my terrarium, and I really like it. And when I bought it, I was like, wow, this is a lot like peat. It reacts the same way as peat does. It's moisture retentive, and I thought it was great. So I think probably, and this is another product from Holland Basics, which I really like anyways. So if you want to try that out, great option for you. If you don't like buying soil because it has the peat in it, you can buy this, add your bark, add your perlite or vermiculite, worm castings, whatever you want to add in there, and you don't have to worry about using unsustainable peat moss. Great option. So there's that. So let's move on to the next product. Okay, one of the things that I have done in my plant parenthood, and this has been an absolute game changer. Highly recommend everybody doing this. If you use grow lights, get these plugs. These are smart plugs from Tekken, and I think I have 12 of these around my house for all of my grow lights. It's so much easier. Instead of waking up in the morning, which I used to do, I actually think I have a video before I got these smart plugs, and I would walk around the house, and it would take me like 10 minutes or so just to walk around and reach underneath things and turn things on and flip switches and plug things in, and it was just a nightmare. So I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I found these smart plugs that, I mean, most people use for like lights or like lamps, or I don't know, the things people use smart plugs for. I don't know. But anyway, they are amazing for plant parents because you can set it up in your app, and so you have Monday through Friday, and then you have the weekends. So you have, well, you have a full, So in the app, it has the full week laid out, and you can set different times on different days. You can set, you know, when they turn on and when they turn off. So I have mine set up every day to turn on at 7:30 in the morning and to turn off at 8:30 in the evening. So when I wake up in the morning, I wake up, make my coffee, you know, I'll putter around the kitchen and boom, all the lights just automatically come on. I don't have to do anything. And then at night, we're sitting there on the couch. Before we went to bed, I'd have to walk around, and I'm tired at that point. I don't want to walk around and flip, you know, switches and unplug things. So I don't have to do that anymore. At nighttime, everything just poof, turns off. It's magical. It's magical. Anyway, highly recommend these. They're super easy to set up, very easy to use, and make the whole experience of owning plants, especially if you have grow lights, just that much easier. So what I actually do is I have more grow lights in some areas than just that one plug. So what I've done is I've plugged the actual plug into the wall and put like a power bar into that. So then I can plug in like 3 or 4 things to that one plug. Works like a charm. Highly recommend. Get yourself some of these. Make your life easier. Why not, right? So that's a huge one. Huge game changer. Really recommend those. Let's move on to the next product. Okay, the next product that I want to show you are these pots. Now, I've been asked about these pots quite a few times, so I figured I would throw them in this video because they are great. There's a reason why I use them. There's a reason why they grab people's attention. It's because they're awesome. So these pots are a really nice lightweight plastic, but a very sturdy plastic. And the thing I like about these is they also come with the saucers themselves, and you get a set of 10. 10! They're nice and deep. They have great drainage on the bottom, and they're just an overall really great but cheap pot for your plants. They look really nice. They come in a couple different colors. I use the one that's called white. I think it's called white, but it's more of like a creamy color, and it kind of has that like stone look. They're really, really nice. They look great in any setup. Do I have any around me? Let me get one and I'll show you. Okay, here is my Manjula Pothos, who, by the way, is killing it. Look at that new leaf. Woo! She pretty. Anyway, if we look down here, there is the pot. So there you can kind of get an idea of what I mean. It's got a little texture, and it kind of looks like stone, if you see what I mean. And then it comes with the little, don't drop it, Nicki. It's a little top heavy. It comes with the little tray as well that matches. It's just a really cute, modern looking situation. And if you are the type of person that likes matching pots, this is a great option because you get so many of them for a great price. I think I've ordered 2 sets of these. One I ordered on my own, and then Jordan got me a set for Christmas last year. And they are lovely. They're wonderful. And you're falling off there and need to be restuck. Okay, I'm going to restick her, put her back, and I'll be back with the last 2 products. Okay, the second last product that I want to share with you is this fan. Now, I know you're just like, it's a clip-on fan, Nicki. Okay, but like, this fan I have had in my greenhouse for 2.5 years? At least 2 years. It runs day and night, all week long, every week for 2 years, and it has not stopped working. It's crazy. It's in a humid environment. It's not designed to be in there. And it has just worked. It's been an amazing little fan. So much so that I actually bought a second one for my Mars Hydro grow tent downstairs. And both of them have just been amazing little fans. The clip is nice and strong. There's high and low as far as speeds are concerned. There's a high speed and a low speed depending on the situation that you're using it for, but it is an amazing little fan. Highly recommend these. I have not found another one that works as well as this does. And just for a little cheapy fan, I like, mind blown. Anyway, so if you're looking for a fan, even if it's not for plants, this one is great. It takes a licking and it keeps on ticking. We'll just move on to the last product. Okay, so this last thing is not planty in the slightest, but this has actually helped me immensely. So how many of you at home have all of your plants like in your windows, right? Like as plant people, that is prime real estate. But at the same time, how many of us have those heat or cooling registers right at our window? A lot of houses are designed to have those heat registers right at the window so that, you know, the heat comes up, cools the air from the window, or warms the air, that warms the cool air coming from the window before it gets into your home. Maybe that's how they were thinking when they designed those. I don't know. But anyways, not an ideal place for those heat and cool vents if you're a plant parent, because most plants don't like hot or cold drafts. So these are amazing. They are like directional vent covers. So they actually pop up and they can tilt depending on where you want to direct the heat. So I have these in my front window and it pops out and forward so that instead of the heat coming straight up towards my plants, the heat comes up and out towards us, where we actually need the heat, not just right up at the window. So these are really handy. I mean, they're also handy just in general because it makes more sense to have the heat come forward rather than just right up the window. Anyway, great for plants, great for plant people, just great for people in general. Anyway, just a little tip for you, something that I started using at the beginning of this winter and I thought it was great and I loved it. And so now I'm recommending it to you. Okay, so that was my list, my top 15 favorite plant products for plant people. What? My top 15 Amazon products for plant parents. We'll go with that. So let me know what you think. Do you use any of these products? Is there anything that you use on Amazon that you absolutely swear by? I am always open to hearing about new products that people use. So let me know down in the comments. And let me know if there's anything on here that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally getting that. I'm really curious to see if you guys are interested in trying any of these, or if you do try them and you swear by them, let me know. Again, all of the links will be down in the description of the video. As a full disclosure, they are affiliate links, which means I get a really tiny percentage of any purchases made through those links. But it's a great way to support the channel, other than watching and liking and commenting and all that sort of stuff. This is another really great way to support the content creators that you love to watch. So I will go ahead and wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. It is a huge help to my channel and I really do appreciate it. I love you all to bitty bits. Have an amazing and wonderful day, night, week, month, and year, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!